tiroir. 'Cause my hitters don't die, and real hitters gon' shine, and my people gon' line. That's my boy doing it. I ain't saying
how the hell do I not have a deal? I swear this thing is a real dog. I play it fan off, the cowards so they can't feel. The wife try to console me like it's coming, baby, chill. She don't understand. I'm the only one that's real. I remember the 3rd grade. Them kids, they had waves. I had them BDBs. You know that Zimbabwean bread. So they do shades and your boy hit the stage, press play, and all the chicks was like, yeah. While boys was moving bricks, I was moving chips. Yeah. If she gave me calculus, gave her a mouthful of it. Heat rose to this thing, boy, I bet on myself.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I am so excited for this thorough Thursday and to be in the studio with these amazing guests. I'm pumped because I got Rob Young here. We're going to be talking all about his film and also the organization that he runs, Dreamers Collective. And it's important because his film is really focusing on us caring for our veterans. So I'm excited that he's in the building. We also got Gabi and Rhea from One Love Foundation. They are in the building. They have an amazing event coming up that we can all participate in and support. So I'm grateful that they are also here. So y'all know, anytime we got 3 guests, it's a jam-packed show. But of course, it's the top of the show. So it's a great time for you all to get involved and tag and share the stream. That's right. Now is the time where you get to tag and share the stream with folks you feel could benefit from a daily dose of dopeness right here on the Day with Trae. If you cannot watch us, we do have you covered because you can listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and the Day with Trae. Y'all will find me on Google, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Apple Music, 200 platforms. Okay. Thank you so much to our podcast team for making that happen. So just search for us on the one that is your favorite and y'all will find us there. Well, before I get into it with Rob Young this morning, I want to make a statement here because what we're seeing is something that I don't know that it's so surprising to many in Black community, but we're seeing Black leaders being cut off at the knees as they push forward for the change that many demanded post George Floyd. And I'm experiencing this personally because the phenomenal director of Karen A. Johnson, Dr. J, as she goes by, for the Office of Equity at the state level, is no longer the director. And it just was kind of hitting the community yesterday, hitting the, enterprise across the state yesterday. And honestly, for me, it's one of those things where I say, oh, here we are again. We are seeing the reels pulled back on so much of the work that folks said they wanted and needed in order for us to create a more balanced society. Yet, when the folks that step up and take the charge to lead the way in that regard start getting the pushback because really the accountability doesn't want to be there, really they don't really want to do the work, it's one of those things that I just wanted to say this morning. As a Black woman raising 2 Black sons, I'm quite exhausted of this, y'all. I'm tired. And as we know, I'm beyond tired. We've heard it before, tired of being tired of seeing the same old tactics take place, particularly when we are pushing for justice for all, when we are pushing for equity in this world that we live in, which we know was built in an inequitable way. We really do have to come together to find the solutions here. So I'm always excited to have this platform right here, y'all know, to really uplift the stories of so many who are the ones doing that work, leading charges, blazing new trails, making it accessible for all of us to be exposed to brilliance so that we can expand our minds. We have to be doing that as an individual and collectively in our families, in our communities, in our work groups, in our community organizations, whatever it is that you touch. I really want you to be thinking about how your life is going to really move the needle, move things forward, and change the way that we've been doing business that has been so harmful to so many. With that, I just want to open it up and welcome Rob Young here as we talk about, his film. Again, our veterans need our love. Our veterans are sometimes not cared for. Rob is going to tell us more about it. What's up, Rob?
How you doing? How you doing today?
I'm well. How are you today?
I'm doing amazing. Absolutely phenomenal.
Well, I'm so glad that you are here. You are the CEO of Dreamers Collective, and you also...
Dreamers Creative.
Dreamers Creative. Thank you for correcting me. And you also just did a film. Tell us a bit about your organization and what the Dreamers Creative does?
So Dream Roots Creative, we specialize in equity content, and we create PSA work, documentary films, really to create platforms to uplift different voices, marginalized voices. Actually, we've worked with Dr. Karen Johnson, and she's an absolute light. We did some work with the Office of Equity, and so it's a little hurtful to see that happen. And it also shows the importance of why we have to work together as a collective to actually uplift each other and create that support base. And I know that she's going to be headed in an amazing place. She's definitely favored by God. So I say thank you to her.
Oh, I didn't even know that. So I'm so glad that you are here and the first guest today, because somebody who has experienced that level of intentionality in their work, it's something that it's hard to explain because we don't see it often, and we don't see it often enough. And yet here we are again, experiencing, man, when you are bold and courageous, sometimes people are not ready for it. So I love that you were able to do some work with the Office of Equity and bring your brilliance there. And I agree with you 100%. When we think about a collective mentality, let's just think about how the first civilizations were built. That's exactly right. When they say it takes a village, it's because it's always taken a village in a sense to move things and make things happen. And I love that. And there are certain points in our history that showcase that. But you also are really passionate about our veterans, and you have poured your brilliance into a project that, for me, I mean, as we were just talking about it, it's like veterans go out, they do everything, they put their life on the line, they come home, and there's not enough services, enough resources to really ensure that they feel that love and care. Tell us why you decided to, do this style of documentary and with this topic, talking about our veterans.
Yeah, so I am an artist by trade, and I came across the issue of deported veterans writing a song called "Excuse My Accent." I found this story of Hector Barajas, who's created the Deported Veteran Support House in Tijuana. I thought that it was a typo, and then the more I started to dig in, I realized that it is intentional. There is some such thing called deported veterans, two words that should never be put together. We asked him to be a part of our music video and make a cameo, and we heard his story and Kevin Martinez, who's from Belize, and we were so compelled that we felt like our way to contribute to a solution would be able to use our creativity. So we just, pulled the trigger and decided to create a documentary, and that was 3 years ago. And we turned it into a documentary short called Bring Them Home. It's won multiple awards at different film festivals and did amazing at the film festival circuit. Now we're really looking to utilize the film for advocacy purposes to really make sure that these different organizations can utilize it to create solutions, create pathways for citizenships for deported veterans, making sure that deported veterans, when they do have the opportunity to come home, they're able to have the resources necessary for them to live the American dream that they fought for. Yeah.
Well, you're really shining a light on something. And when you say deported veterans, two words that shouldn't exist together, I agree 100%. If an individual chooses to put their life on the line for the freedoms of this country and to uphold, liberty and justice for all, this kind of, I don't want to have my eyes rolling, but it's like it never actually has been, fully felt in this country by global majority folks. And that is a real thing. But the fact that folks can come here, put their lives on the line, and then they're deported back. I mean, just please break that down for us, Rob.
Whew. Well, it's definitely a convoluted issue. When we look at America, we understand that part of the American fabric is xenophobia. That's just the reality that we cannot escape. What has been happening is since 1996, it's actually interesting. 1996, Tim McVeigh did the Oklahoma bombing, and legislators rushed to different immigration reform. And in that, they created a loophole where veterans would be caught up in the immigration reform. And since then, at an alarming rate, veterans have been deported, not being able to get access to the naturalization when they're going through training camps. There are certain things that are starting to happen, but not at all in a rate necessary. When ICE was doing deportations, they were not taking into consideration veteran service. So there's an unknown amount of deported veterans globally. And obviously, when we say deported, naturally we start to think of our Latin brothers and sisters. But the truth is that this is very much an American issue. There's deported veterans that I've heard stories from South Korea, Canada, Jamaica, Caribbean, really all over the place. And so these are people who were willing to fight for our country, who've gone through harrowing circumstances of war or not, but we're willing to take that sacrifice with the promise of naturalization, the promise of citizenship, and then to have the country turn their back on them. And I just feel as an American citizen, I'm not a veteran. I'm not an immigrant. I'm an American citizen. And as an American citizen, I personally feel that it's up to us to really protect those who protect us. The idea of freedom is something that from the foundation, Americans hold sacred. So the individuals who are willing to risk their life for that idea deserve to live that idea. And I'm very, very passionate about that. We've been working with different organizations such as ACLU SoCal, Black Deported Veterans of America, Deported Veterans Support House, Repatriate Our Patriots, and finding ways to come together to make sure that there is a way for these individuals, these veterans, to get their citizenship, and then also change legislation at a high level, so that way that this loophole can get closed.
Wow. I mean, I'm just kind of over here in shock because the ideas that I guess maybe I'm so glad that you did do this story. I mean, again, as I was talking about at the top, we need people like you to expose us to these things that are taking place right underneath our noses and beneath our feet when we don't realize that it really affects us all. And so I think, when we think, injustice to anyone is injustice to everyone and all of that, it's true. But yet sometimes a lot of folks don't understand that until they experience it personally. And so you having the wherewithal to understand the need for this story to take shape in the ways that you have done it, and now to use it in terms of education. Just tell us a bit more about that. Now that the documentary's out, it's won all these films. What are some of the goals that you have for using it in the ways that you're looking to use it now?
Well, like I said, we want to make the public aware. This is something I didn't know about it. I tend to know about a lot of things. And when I heard about it, I was like, oh, if I don't know about this, I know a lot of other people don't know about this. And so we want to make the public aware to start to ring the bell. We understand how the government works with public pressure, starts to create movement. I've spoken to veterans themselves, people in the military, and they didn't know about it. So it's a very complex issue. So we want to make sure that we could use that film just to create as much awareness as possible. We're going to continue telling these stories. We feel like as a team, my Dreamers creative team, excuse my accent team, the Bring Them Home team, we feel that this is an amazing window into looking at the idea of America, looking at humanistic ideals, who we are as individuals. We believe that we could really start to answer the question, which is, what's the soul of our nation? What is the soul of our nation if we're willing to do this? How can we start to knock down those barriers that we put between each other when we look at each other as far as like Black and brown and being from other countries, and what does it mean to actually live in this country? So we want to use that window and create a larger dialogue that could start to bring connectivity between us,
Well, I definitely do know, and it is so necessary. I thank you for, again, kind of leading the charge here and with your team and saying, let's tell this story. Let's expose folks to this, because it is something we all need to be aware of. You have an upcoming film screening. I want you to be able to look right there. Let folks know how they connect with your organization and come out to the film screening.
Absolutely. So we are having a film screening at Grand Cinema June 10th. We would love for you to come out. Bring your friends, bring your family. We're going to have Daniel Torres, the first deported veteran to ever get a citizenship, come speak. We're going to have the founder of the Black Deported Veterans of America, James Smith. We're having individuals, Amanda Schuff from MDEF, Immigrant Defenders Law Center, Jenny Pasquella from the ACLU SoCal is going to speak. So it's going to be something where we can not only watch the film, but then actually have dialogue on how to make the changes. You can go to grandcinema.com/films/bring-them-home, or you could go to bringthemhomefilm.com. That's a little bit easier. And then you could see where to click and get tickets. We'd love to have you there. Grand Cinema, June 10th. Follow us at Bring Them Home Film. You can follow me at Official Rob Young on Instagram, and just follow the journey. We're going to just continue doing this until we can make some solutions.
Wow. Rob, thank you again for being here. Anytime you have a new project, just know the Day with Trae is a home for you right here in the Black Media Matter Studios. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for listening.
Y'all, here we go. We're starting off to a really great start, and I'm excited because Gabi is coming up after this short break. We're going to be talking all about One Love Foundation. Stay tuned, y'all. You don't want to miss this. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Military veterans of the United States who are not U.S. citizens being deported
in order to leave the same country they once fought for.
Fellow Americans,
America should not be deporting military vets. It undermines our national security.
You know, you feel thrown away. You just feel thrown away.
I am 100% disabled for PTSD due to my combat experiences. You're welcome.
Currently, the only way a deported veteran can come home is in a body bag. This is the only way they're being honored is when they're dead. That just doesn't make sense.
Big Tobacco thinks they know everything. They think they know you, your community, the places you go, and the way that you spend your time. They think they got you all figured out, down to a formula, a calculation based off of numbers of what they think they know. Show them they're wrong. Learn more at theythinktheyknowyou.org.
1 in every 500 African Americans in the U.S. suffers from sickle cell disease. 1 in 3 African American blood donors is a match for patients with sickle cell. 1 appointment to donate blood with the American Red Cross can help save a life. Will you be that one? Visit redcrossblood.org/ourblood today to schedule an appointment at a location near you.
Hey, you guys, I'm Jay Martin Jr., the host of the Drive Project podcast, where we talk about passion, purpose, and possibility. It's available for you to listen on whereweconverge.com, SoundCloud. You can listen to it on Apple, Spotify, Google, and so much more. Real conversations with real people, and some of it is just me sharing my perspective. I can't wait for you to listen. Thank you so much.
COVID-19 hurt my income, my health, and my family. We were about to lose our home when we heard we might be eligible for homeowner assistance funds from the government. We called 1-877-894-HOME, and a housing counselor stepped in. They talked to our lender and saved our home. Because falling on hard times does not have to mean losing your home. Federal funding details at washingtonhaf.org.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now is Gabi Schutt from One Love Foundation. What's up, Gabi?
Hey, how are you this morning?
I'm doing all right. You know, clearly there's messages here we need to push forward. One Love Foundation is doing some great work. We want to learn all about it. Give us a breakdown. What is One Love Foundation all about?
Absolutely. So we were founded in honor of Yardley Love. She was a college student at the University of Virginia. She played lacrosse, and just a few weeks before she was supposed to graduate, she was killed by her ex-boyfriend. And during the trial, her friends, her family said, there's something going on here. I didn't know how to talk about it. I didn't know how to identify it. maybe we could have stepped in. So her mother founded the One Love Foundation to really help us develop a common language so that everyone can have conversations. And we want to help people identify what's an unhealthy relationship before it escalates to abuse. This affects so many people. Over 1 in 3 women experience abuse, 1 in 3 men, and 1 in 2 non-binary and transgender folks. And certainly people of color experience that at much higher rates. And so we want to help younger generations talk about this issue and avoid that abuse before they get older.
Ooh. I mean, it's deep, right? Yeah. I mean, it's deep work and it's so profound. When you think about, the ways y'all do it, clearly there's probably pillars and different programs or projects y'all work on. Tell us about some of those so we can understand how you actually do this work.
Absolutely. So we do film-based workshops. We have 13 films that range from 40 minutes to 30-second clips. And accompanying those, we have lesson plans and worksheets and tools that anyone can use to start this conversation with people in their community. Really see us as a resource. So we know if we go into a classroom, we don't know that John and Jane just broke up, or, Bob and Sue are having issues, but the teacher or the school counselor does know that. So we believe that those people can have even more effective conversations. So One Love Foundation is here to provide them tools, resources, and support in facilitating those conversations. Our content ranges from 6th grade through college. And we have a bunch of other PSAs and things like that, but really focusing on that film base. So even if they've never experienced something or they want to share their personal experience, participants can still talk about what they just saw on the film.
I just realized that a lot of work around this style or this topic, focuses on kind of the after effect. So I love that y'all are like, wait a minute, beforehand, let's begin to identify that in your curriculum and in the films and workshops y'all offer. Is there something in terms of ways for folks to even identify themselves as, oh, wait a minute, I may become an abuser if I continue this way?
Absolutely. We have the 10 signs of a healthy and unhealthy relationship, but we always say in our workshops, these are behaviors. So 100% of us are in relationships. You got coworkers, you have friends, you have family. So even if you're not in a romantic relationship, you're dealing with people. And so 100% of us are going to do something unhealthy, right? At the end of the day, you are going to do something. And so those 10 signs help us identify that it's a behavior. You're not a bad person if you do one of these things, but let's talk about it before it becomes a pattern of abuse.
That's really very important. I have 2 sons. I talk about my sons all the time. And, my oldest son is in a relationship, but I'm so grateful that our relationship allows for us to have a flowing dialogue and conversations around his relationship. And I realize that that's not true for every parent-child relationship. And so there's something really unique about being able to be an open support system for not just young folks, but for anyone really that finds himself kind of in some of these categories. Is that right, Gabi?
Absolutely. The 2 things we want everyone to walk away with when they leave a workshop is knowing about those 10 signs and having an idea of a resource or a person they can go to if they're experiencing this or they just want to talk about relationships. So we call it the 3 Ps. We have parents or trusted adults, because not everyone has that relationship with their parents, professionals, and peers. And that worksheet lays it out. Do you have 2 to 3 peers you can go to? Do you know 2 to 3 hotlines or your school counselor or some kind of professional that can help you work through this? And then do you have a trusted adult in your life? I've heard stories from young people that I didn't feel comfortable going to my mom, not because we have a bad relationship, but my best friend's mom, she was there for me and I was able to talk to her about it. So having them think about it before they get into a crisis, before they get into unhealthy relationship, they have it written down and they can just go to that person when they need to.
Gabi, what brings someone like you into work like this? I mean, again, I feel like we all need jobs, whatever, right? Yeah. But there's some of us who are really kind of called into certain work. What brought you into the One Love Foundation?
Absolutely. So my sorority, our philanthropy is domestic violence awareness. And when I was in college, it was my first or second year, I participated in a One Love workshop. It was our first film. And I really walked away saying, wow, that is something I can carry with me throughout my life. And then my path kind of went different. My background is in the arts, but something that's always been core to me is community engagement. And so when I saw this opportunity with One Love, I was like, wow, this message is so important to get across to people, and these skills I've developed of, I'm here to support them and having these conversations. It's not about me. Having these conversations was so key and just my favorite part of the job.
Well, I love it. I got to give you time. You get to look right there in that camera. Let them know how they connect with One Love Foundation. If someone out there is saying, oh my gosh, we need these workshops in our school, in our church, in our community, please let them know right there how they connect.
Yeah. So visit us at joinonelove.org. And you can find out information about how to contact us. And we have a big event coming up that you're going to hear more about, Move for Love, this Saturday, May 20th. And you can learn about that event at moveforlove.org/Seattle.
All right. Gabi, thank you so much for shutting it down right here on the Day with Trae. Appreciate you. And again, as One Love builds more events and more programs, I mean it. This is an amazing platform here for y'all, to uplift what y'all are doing. Thanks so much for being in this work. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm telling you, it's going to continue, y'all, because we now get to talk to Rhea. Rhea's in the building, going to tell us more about this event coming up. So, of course, we need to learn about Move for Love. Gabi just teed it up. We're going to tee it down right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Big Tobacco thinks they know everything. They think they know you, your community, the places you go, and the way that you spend your time. They think they got you all figured out, down to a formula, a calculation based off of numbers of what they think they know. Show them they're wrong. Learn more at theythinktheyknowyou.org.
1 in every 500 African Americans in the U.S. suffers from sickle cell disease. 1 in 3 African American blood donors is a match for patients with sickle cell. 1 appointment to donate blood with the American Red Cross can help save a life. Will you be that one? Visit redcrossblood.org/ourblood today to schedule an appointment at a location near you.
Hey, you guys, I'm Jay Martin Jr., the host of the Drive Project podcast, where we talk about passion, purpose, and possibility. It's available for you to listen on whereweconverge.com, SoundCloud. You can listen to it on Apple, Spotify, Google, and so much more. Real conversations with real people, and some of it is just me sharing my perspective. I can't wait for you to listen. Thank you so much.
COVID-19 hurt my income, my health, and my family. We were about to lose our home when we heard we might be eligible for homeowner assistance funds from the government. We called 1-877-894-HOME, and a housing counselor stepped in. They talked to our lender and saved our home. Because falling on hard times does not have to mean losing your home. Federal funding details at washingtonhaf.org.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now is Rhea Kimball from One Love Foundation. We're going to be learning all about Move Love. Look, whatever she said, because I think I got it wrong. We're going to learn about this event. What's up, Rhea?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? I'm like,
It
wasn't Move Love.
It is if you want it to be. As long as you're moving and have love in your heart, you got part of it.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's great to hear some of the foundation of the One Love Foundation, what y'all do. But this event now is really about being out into the community and having that relational opportunity, right, to build relationships in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Tell us more about this event coming up.
yeah, you touched on something. So Gabi talked earlier about our educational work, but how do you mobilize the community? Once people are aware of the issue, they've been educated, how do you bring people together? And really Move for Love is our community mobilization event in partnership with the Seattle Seahawks. And so Move for Love is a 5K run walk at Luma Lumen Field. And it's really to raise awareness about relationship abuse, but also to promote healthy love. So this issue can be very stigmatizing. It's an issue that thrives in the dark. So we're trying to take away the stigma, get people comfortable having these conversations, and then incorporating some fun. So we really want it to be an event that people look forward to every year and say, this is my event. I take ownership with this because it's going to take all of us, and it's really not just about One Love. We're a part of this bigger piece of the puzzle. And again, we're prevention-based curriculum health organization, so we partner with people who do direct services, right? And so we're very clear about who we are and what we do, but we know it takes all of us, and we're all about community.
Yeah, well, I think you have to be,
Yeah.
particularly with the pillars of your work, right, at One Love. I mean,
Mhm.
this is all great, but if folks in the community are not really absorbing it, then we're not having those healthy relationships come out as a result of the work. What are some of the things that you've been really excited to see in your role with One Love Foundation with regard to the impact that your work has on community?
Yeah, so I'm in development. So, I ask people for money. But aside from that, it's really about building relationships. It's really about connecting with people. It's really about finding out, what are your passions? What do you care about? Do you see alignment with our vision? And if the answer is yes, I'm like, come on this journey with us. Here's how you can support the organization and help. You can always give your funds, but you can give your time. You can give us connections to your resources, whether it be schools, it could be corporations, right? And so just kind of letting people kind of find their way and their niche and their place in this, and then bringing them along, right? Because we want lifelong supporters. And so I'm really excited because Move for Love is the fun part of what I do, and what our team does. And so gathering all these people on Saturday, I've had conversations with people over email, and Saturday is the day I get to meet them in person. I get to see them. I might be giving out hugs, high fives, dancing with everyone. We're real people. You can connect and touch us. So I'm just really excited about that because it's all about the community.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you 100%. And, when you talk about the fun, I mean, there's some things that folks are going to be able to participate in. You mentioned the Rock Run, but there's other things that are going to be going on there. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, so the walk run is really like the physical part of it, but then we have our Finish Line Festival, which starts at 10:30 a.m. That is free, actually, for anyone in the community to come out. So the Finish Line Festival is going to have our vendors. We have Norlux Candle. I know you know about them, Black-owned business there. They're going to be doing a diffuser making activities, so participants will be able to come, create custom scents, and take away their own smell of healthy relationships, right? And so we'll also have Take 12 Podcast, which is a Seahawks broadcast, station out of LA, but they're actually, one of the hosts is from born and raised here. We'll have some Seahawks legends there. We'll have food trucks, which are free for anyone to come, and fill their bellies after they ran and been in the sun all day. We have a kids zone. We'll have a DJ, Uncle Guy. I know some people really know who he is, getting the party started. Our MC is G. Scott Sr. And so it's just going to be really fun. I'm really excited about just all of the partners that are there. Black Men Run, Black Girls Run, Black Coffee. So it's really, again, about community, and it's just going to be a fun day.
Well, it sounds like it. Y'all have jam-packed this day there at Lumen Field. And clearly it's coming up. So folks now need to be registering. They need to get their tickets. I know you have an announcement. What do you want the folks to know in terms of participating and being there to support this amazing event, but also, again, kind of making that pledge that they are going to be committed to, not only being in healthy relationships, but ensuring that others can also be in healthy relationships. Let them know right there.
Yeah. So Move for Love is many different things. So if you're just new and hearing about us, start by coming to the event on Saturday, May 20th. You can find out how to register. You go online at moveforlove.org. convergemedia.org/Seattle. And then also, we just want to let you know at 2 p.m. Pacific time, that will be the cutoff for online registration. So you want to go now before 2 p.m., but we will still be registering people in person. So you can go to our packet pickup, which is tomorrow from 11 to 2 p.m. at Lululemon in University Village. And then also the day of, we are taking registrations as well from 9 to 9:45. So come on out. All of this information is on the website. Again, it's moveforlove.org/Seattle.
Rhea. Well, hey, congratulations on pouring your brilliance into such an amazing effort so that we can all have the foundational tools for building healthy relationships. Appreciate you. Anytime you want to come back, just let me know.
I will be back.
There we go. Oh, y'all, this has been a fantastic episode. Another real thorough Thursday. When we got 3 guests, it gets real thorough because we want to be able to uplift and support folks in our community who are doing great works and bringing their brilliance out for us. And y'all know I got to give a huge shout out to all of my guests today, to Rob, to Gabi, to Rhea, because I was inspired by their stories. Y'all know this. I'm always inspired by the guests who come here on The Day with Trae because honestly, there's so much that I get exposed to right here in this living room set in the Black Media Matter studios by bringing these stories to you all. So I want you to be inspired. You got to be inspired to find the ways to see yourself as a part of the solution, as all of my guests have today. And of course, for me, until tomorrow, y'all, at 11 a.m. Peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.